What is up, my guys and girls? I didn't forget you girls. Want to welcome you to another Rich retrospective reviews. I am your host, the Boom Da 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 Da, and I hope everyone is doing well. And we want to say a big shout out to the richest team on earth. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel, liking the videos, and commenting and sharing these videos all around. I really appreciate it so much. Be sure, of course, to follow me on social media. We still got that move. We're about to hit 10k soon. Yes, we're about to hit 10k soon. So really appreciate it. And just remember that success, oh yes, is a sniff away. So in this episode of retrospective review, we're going to be looking at another film that came out in the late 90s, 1998 to be exact, which this one you could say is a comedy slash drama. Some people categorize it as dark comedy film. It can only possibly be The Players Club, that came out in 1998, starring LisaRaye McCoy, Bernie Mac, and Jamie Foxx, directed by Ice Cube in his directorial debut. Players Club, that came out in 1998. This is a film which is pretty much divided across fans. When I did research for this film, I saw that some people see this as a cult film within the black community, and there's people who absolutely, positively, most undoubtedly despise this film because it's just again, and I'm gonna mention this later on in the review, but I'll even put it now. The impact of Friday, that came out in 1995. The Friday film was really a sleeper here. No one knew it was gonna be a big success that even to this day we're still saying bye Felicia, and still using the quotes like "you just got knocked the fuck out." So no one knew the success that was gonna come from that movie. Because of Friday, you had movies like the one I just reviewed not too long ago, I Got the Hookup, with Master P and AJ Johnson, and then you have this film, and I'm sure there's other films that took influences from the 1995 classic, but you can see with the Players Club the influence that the Friday film has in this movie, and so much so that a lot of the cast that are in the Friday, maybe at least 80% of the cast from the first Friday film, appear in this movie. So with that being said, as always, I want to talk about when I first watched this film. So I came late to the party. Yes, Richie Rich came late to the party, and I only saw the Players Club for the first time. It was only last year, just like I Got the Hookup. It was one of those movies that I'd always seen the poster. I'd always seen that one that had again Bernie Mac, Jamie Foxx, and LisaRaye McCoy, but I never ever got down to watch it. So I watched it for the first time just last year, and I watched it again just recently just to prepare for this review. My thoughts on, just initial thoughts on this, is that it's a very mixed film. We're gonna go into more detail, but the first thing I noticed in there is it tries to encapsulate a lot what made Friday good, but then it tries to put a little drama, like real stuff that happens on like women trying to get their money and working in pretty much what it is adult entertainment. So that part is a nice sight to look, but I do feel the tone is pretty much imbalanced, and that's why I even felt watching it recently, but we're gonna get onto that. Okay, so one of the standouts of this film, and I believe, as I said many times, like the 90s were doing this a lot of having these all-star cast. Did it in House Party, did it in Friday, even I Got the Hookup, where you had like a feature film that had like either up-and-comers or established black actors. So in this film you got Jamie Foxx, you got John Amos, you got AJ Johnson, Charlie Murphy, Terrence Howard, Faison Love, and of course LisaRaye McCoy, who this was actually her first role ever. And you also got appearances from Tony Lister, Debo, appears in this. Charles Clark Duncan. You also got Monica Calhoun, and you've got Dick Anthony Williams, and Christelle Stewart, Christelle Wilson, who plays the main antagonist, and even an appearance from Uncle Luke. So it's a slew of like big black actors or even music artists that were in this time. And as I said, this was Ice Cube's first directed movie. So like starting off like with the main cast, of course you got the beautiful then LisaRaye McCoy. At this time, LisaRaye McCoy, I had only seen her in two things before I saw this. I saw her in, her resume is not that big, folks, but it's just keeping it 100. She appeared in one episode of In the House, LL Cool J's sitcom in the late 90s. I think this was just like maybe like one of her first roles, and I believe that was in the late 90s also. And then she had a more dragged role. She had a role in All of Us, the series produced by Will Smith, starring opposite Dwayne Martin. So LisaRaye McCoy is not someone, she appeared in Beauty Shop, which I've reviewed also. But she's not someone who I can say has like a really big resume in starring in lead actress. So if we just look at her, so LisaRaye McCoy is playing Diamond. There's a nickname Diana, so she's basically she's a single mother. She takes her studies seriously, but she actually left her parents' home. She's actually working in a department store and she studies. So she's really just trying to level herself up. And basically the antagonist, you could say, of this film, Christelle Wilson, Ronnie, she gives her the idea of she should become a stripper because she looks good, she's body, and she gives that. If I look at LisaRaye McCoy's acting on this, and this is where I'm gonna tie it to, is at this time, especially in the 90s, and I even got a video about this, is the light-skinned woman or the yellow titty was a big thing, especially in the 90s. Of course, black women weren't really getting starring roles at all, pretty much, unless you were Halle Berry. Even as fine as Robin Givens, as I said, was in Boomerang, unless you were those elite like Halle Berry, and you could say Angela Bassett was there, but Angela Bassett was more on her acting roles. But Halle Berry was pretty much the go-to for like black actresses in the maybe for 90s to 2000s to 2010s. So a lot of black women, if they weren't that type of like, when you look at LisaRaye McCoy, she's black, but she's so light she could come off across as a white woman. Those were the ones who were getting pushed in the head, you understand? Even if you see the antagonist, Christelle Wilson, very fair skin, very beautiful, but like it looks like pretty much a white woman. So these are some of the things. So I feel like with LisaRaye McCoy in this, she does decent for her first role, but I believe like she only pretty much got put in this for just eye candy. It's not someone who has really credible acting skills. Like when you do see her opposed to like Halle Berry, and I know they've had like a spat and all that, but like there's just a difference of level when you see them too. But I mean, for her first role, it's pretty good. You could say the next big character after this is Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx, who was actually filming the Jamie Foxx show once this movie came out. It must have been season 3. And I actually grew up with the Jamie Foxx show and the Wayans Brothers show. Jamie Foxx is a pretty cool, I'd say probably of all the actors in this, he's the one who actually is possibly most memorable. He's like the DJ in the Dollar Bills Club, Bernie Mac we're going to talk about. And he's the one who kind of like hypes the women up before they go into the stage. He's like pretty much the nice guy of this movie. He has a thing for Diamond, but he doesn't want to make a move, not until the end. But yeah, Jamie Foxx, you can even see in these early films and these early appearances, Jamie Foxx just had talent in there. And I'm sure the people in Living Color saw that and he gave him his own TV show, and then he was able to go movies. And I've said this many times, of all like the black main actors, you got Denzel, who's top, Will Smith, who was second, and I think after Will Smith, Jamie Foxx was the one who really was able to successfully transition from television to movies, just like the other two. Denzel was on Saint Elsewhere, and then Will Smith, of course, was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Jamie Foxx had the Jamie Foxx show. He was doing movies, just like Will Smith did in the 90s, but like when he got the breakthroughs with like Ray and Collateral, and then he became like an A-list star. Jamie Foxx was freaking Django, one of my favorite Quentin Tarantino movies. So he's an A-list actor, and you can see signs even in the Players Club that he was destined to be a success. Okay, so last and definitely not least is Bernie Mac, right? Okay, so we all know about Uncle Bernie, like God rest his soul. Bernie Mac was just that kind of once-in-a-lifetime comedian. In the 90s, Bernie Mac was doing a lot of cameo appearances. Like I said, he was in Friday. He appeared in House Party. He saved, I couldn't say he saved House Party 3, but just his appearance in House Party 3. That's the only reason I would watch it. He appeared in How to Be a Player. He appeared in Souls and Booty Call. He appeared in Booty Call also. So there was numerous films Bernie Mac cameoed. Above the Rim with Tupac Shakur. This was a movie now that Bernie Mac, you could say, is also like the co-antagonist in this film. He plays Dollar Bill, who is basically the strip club owner who owes money to pretty much the whole area. He owes money to the police. There's these like thugs who are trying to get money from Dollar Bill. It's Charlie Murphy and Terrence Howard, which is like early appearances from them. Dollar Bill is just like he's always tense in this movie. I'm not gonna give them nothing. But he is the standout of this film. I believe Bernie Mac was just the king at doing this. The film is not something I really say has a rewatchable factor and is not really great, but Bernie Mac's scene in this, you could even check it on YouTube, they clip most of his moves like bucket naked. His quotes and phrases in this is Bernie Mac at a 10, and he's definitely the standout from this film. So yeah, so they would be your main principal characters. And like I said, so if we get onto the story, as I said, carrying on from what I said in the beginning, is LisaRaye McCoy playing Diana is, like I said, she's a single mom, and she's also a student, and she aspires pretty much to level up. As I said, it's sometimes, of course, very difficult being a single parent, single mom, of course, and then you want to go back to studies to kind of better your life. So while she's doing that, she has a boyfriend who moved in with her, and it's like they're raising like the single kid. He's the stepdad, and later on her cousin actually comes to stay with her, played by Monica Calhoun. You know, she appeared in The Best Man, and she also was a guest star in the episode where Tupac appeared in Different World, and she's had again a lot of appearances in there. But this girl who comes in is pretty much nothing but trouble. She gives, as stressful as it is, imagine being a single mom, and then she's got to put food on the table, and she's doing stripping at the late night. Ebony doesn't really help her that much. I mean, Ebony gives her more agony than she needs. She actually gets Ebony with her to go to strip club. She says she wants to help out. So even that scene when she has the two ladies are sitting down in Dollar Bill's office, and Dollar Bill's talking about like how stripping started, and he was saying, yeah, the woman in the Africa, bucket naked. He said, when can you start? Immediately. Yeah. So Ebony and Diamond both are working in the Players Club. The antagonist of this film is Ronnie, Christelle Wilson, who again is not someone I've seen I don't think I've seen in anything besides this movie. Again, she's pretty much like the stark opposite of LisaRaye, because when LisaRaye comes in, she pretty much gets scouted by Ronnie, and like Ronnie sees she got potential, but I think it was potential, and she's like a closeted lesbo, but she's pretty much like just like a douchebag, if I be real. Like I said, she's just looking for her own gain, not really caring about none of the women that work there. So when she sees Ebony come in and Diana come in, Diamond, he sees them as like a fresh fish. It's an easy target. So throughout the film, you see like Diana, LisaRaye McCoy, constantly get tested. She doesn't really want to work as a stripper. It's just simply a paycheck. And Ebony at the time, because she just doesn't really have any, she's not really goal orientated, she doesn't really have any ambition, she just pretty much just goes with the flow, and anything that Ronnie and her friend tells her to do, she just goes for it. So much so that Ice Cube, of course, who directed it, he makes an appearance with the dude who appeared in the Jamie Foxx show, and she was gonna even sell her body to them two because they didn't want to even give her money to strip. So she's just around, and you see from the movie that there's so many times where Diana could have just cut Ebony loose, because like this woman wasn't giving her any gain. And as I said, like she was already staying with, and I'm gonna get onto this soon, she was already staying with a family. Like it was the stepdad, the son, and Diana, and she's coming in and she's not really contributing anything. Yeah. So like on the side, of course, as I said, Dollar Bill, he's pretty much getting like from everyone, pretty much every single moment he's getting like he's getting people are saying, we need my money, you need to pay this back. So much so that one time he's sleeping, there's a guy who puts like a shotgun in his mouth and he says, you better pay my money, I was supposed to get pussy tonight. And he even gets locked in the backseat of a car, he gets locked in the trunk. The police even have it out for him. John Amos and Phase on Love, they actually appear in this. And I also forgot to mention AJ Johnson, which this would have been the same year as I Got the Cook Up. He plays Little Man, who's like at the front, you could say the front host, who's there. So he's always saying like, Dollar Bill, there's someone who needs this money, man, you better get out, you better get high. So much so that Bernie Mac, Dollar Bill, he has like a secret passageway. So it's like a way you can hide from people who are looking for him, and you can then enter into the room with the strippers. So Dollar Bill is definitely, as I said, stand out from this film. So throughout the film, I believe where the film starts to really get heat up is when basically it gets too much for Diana. As I said, it is a lot balancing all that you got to study, you're a single mother, even though the dad's there, he's pretty much not, even though the stepdad is there, he's not really doing too much. And then like you got this troublesome cousin who's staying with you, and then you go stripping night. So it gets so much that even one of her her college professors, because Diane was going in the day, one of the professors who played Stanley in Friday, he actually comes to the strip club and actually sees her there, and she was so embarrassed she had to run away. She knows if she was still at the shoe store, she wouldn't be making ends meet, it would just be even more. So once this all happens like in the similar time, like in fact, like the college professor sees her, there was this pretty horny like simp dude in the players club who was always going to Diamond. Anytime he saw Diamond, he had money, he said one of those things. He stalks her all the way back to her apartment and he tries to like get inside. Yeah, compressor. Basically, she's just Diamond's just about to open the door. He comes all the way and he pretty much tries to harass her. Once Diamond actually comes in, now I remember I talked about the stepdad, she walks in pretty much to basically kind of explain, like, I can't believe this guy harassed me. She walks into the bedroom and she finds Ebony and LisaRaye's man at the time, the stepdad, in the bed. So it turns out that all those late nights when Diamond was going to hustle, get this money from the strip club, the players club, her cousin was boning her man. Yeah, it's crazy. And at this time, you could just feel the anger and the pain, because this is a woman who's really trying to do right. You know, made mistakes before, but she's trying to do right. She sees red at this action. She pulls out her revolver, I believe, a pistol, and she starts shooting him. And that's the last you see of Lance, I believe his name. Yeah, and that's a real crazy scene. You see Ebony, like, she runs into the bathroom and cries. And LisaRaye, Diamond, like, kicks her out the house. Says, get away from me, never ever see me again. So around this time, this is when like gives an opportunity for like Jamie Foxx, who's playing Blue, to sort of build a relationship with Diamond, because he always saw her for she was cute, is all that, but he was just waiting for an opportunity. So he was able to build a relationship like towards her, and this is pretty much towards the climax where basically Ebony, who is pretty much like is about to hit rock bottom, she basically gets convinced by Ronnie to do a strip. She basically do a strip, like a bachelor, let's say a male's bachelor party at a hotel. and Ronnie convinces Ebony to go. Ebony, who is 100% naive, goes there, and she believes that other strippers who are from the Players Club are actually gonna go. They don't come, and that dude who you see like in every thug movie in the 90s, from Menace to Tales from the Hood to I know there's a few others in there, but he was that guy Samuel, I believe it's Samuel Jr. I'll put his name here, but he actually rapes Ebony, and they don't show the scene is because it's pretty graphic once they open the door. But because like Ice Cube, he tried to like run a train on her before, he really pushes and pretty like convinces, he really much pushes Junior, played by Samuel Monroe, to like rape the shit out of Ebony Armstrong. And that scene when she's laying on the floor was crazy. But in this one, you could say you can blame Samuel, because again, he was just trying to have a good time before he got married. But it really was Ronnie who pushed, so much so she was there and she kind of fled to the Players Club. Once again Diamond finds out this information, again she has temper, she gets red, she goes to confront Ronnie in the Players Club, and they have the most bitchest fight, bitch cat fight I've ever seen in a feature film. Of course, Diamond is victorious. She's able to like teach her a lesson. Once she leaves the club, she quits, and then soon after, the people again who were chasing Dollar Bill from all the time, the thugs, Charlie Murphy and Terrence Howard, who were chasing Dollar Bill, ransack him, put him into the boot, and they end up destroying the whole Players Club. And as I said, I never mentioned this, the movie pretty much starts off from the ending. It's almost like a retelling of events. So one of the earliest scenes is you see Diamond coming to the site where you see the Players Club, where it's like the debris and it's like the burned building, all the catastrophe that's there. She's retelling the events. So it ends off in the last scenes where you see Ebony, who is you can see still the effects of when she got visually attacked by Junior, and now she's working in the same shoe store that Diamond was working in. So it pretty much plays off the first scenes in the ending, and that's pretty much Players Club. Alright, so before you get Richie Rich's final thoughts, let me tell you about the soundtrack. Yes, okay, so the soundtrack, of course, we all gotta know what was popular in the 90s, the slow jams, the R&B, and of course like gangster rap, and they all make an appearance like in this soundtrack. So you got music from Brownstone, Changing Faces, Dalvin the Gray, DMX appears in here, Corrupt, Master P, you got Little Mo, you got Public Announcement, you got Source Money. So there's a lot of music tracks that I believe, because I've listened to it, you hear it all throughout the movie, that appear pretty much and I got the hook up. And as I said, I feel this is the same that these lot have in common, is that I believe the soundtrack in total is better than the film, and it's the same that happens with this film. This scored very high on the Billboard charts. It got on to number 10, and I really love the music that they play in the club. Like when it's in the Players Club and you see this type of like, even with the cinematography, it's that red, I think the music really complements when you see the woman dancing, especially the tune that plays when Diamond first says her first like solo dance, where she's wearing the pink. Like that tune really worked well with this. But other than that, the soundtrack is definitely a very good part of this movie. So my final thoughts for the Players Club. As I said, this was a movie that I came very late to. I had known about it. I was of course aware of like Ice Cube and LisaRaye and Bernie Mac. So a lot of the actors I already knew. It's just that I never really sat down and was able to watch this film. After watching this back, this is not really a movie I can recommend, and let me tell you why. The movie has a very uneven tone. There's times where there is really dramatic scenes. Like I thought for sure when Diana came and she saw Lance and Ebony in the room after she was just being harassed by that stalker. Like that was a super dramatic scene. Or even the professor seeing Diamond in the strip club after seeing her, like one of her best students, working so hard, and turns out she's like you could say maybe degrading herself for this. It was shocking. So, but then when the comedy scenes come in, it happens like right after. Like as I said, Dollar Bill is great in this film, but there's times when the comedy moments like happens after something that's real dramatic. And this wasn't Friday, where Friday was complete comedy from the beginning. Sure, you had dramatic scenes, but when they put the comedy, they were able to balance it well. Whereas this is so uneven, sometimes you don't really know what the movie's trying to be at times. And again, you have to feel a little sympathy. This was Ice Cube's first movie he directed. He did help produce Fire, but this was the first one he was really behind the camera. And of course, he got pretty much all the cast from Friday, which I believe before it would help. But just at times, bro, because again, this movie is about 2 hours long. And it's a lot of scenes that you could say are just dragged out. Does it need to be there? And there's times I just feel like, for example, it's really nice when you see like I thought the antagonist was cool, Christelle Wilson. If this is her first movie role, she really did well. I feel the scenes with her and the scenes with her, Ronnie and Diana, those scenes were very good because you had the good one and you had the bad one. I feel like there was just some scenes that just could have been cut out and didn't need to be there. Like there was moments like Anthony Johnson was cool as Little Man. His scenes when he was getting like dogged out by Charlie Murphy and Terrence Howard, and like all these ones trying to get money off Dollar Bill. But this movie has really no like essence or core. It's not a movie I can ever rewatch. Even when I was gonna review this, because this was just on my mind, I just said again like Players Club is a movie that came out at the same time, and again Friday influence, and of course Friday is one of my films. I said let me definitely review it, but it's not a movie that has really like a good rewatchability. Like as I said, LisaRaye McCoy was for her first movie role, she was good, but you can see the difference between like a Halle Berry and LisaRaye McCoy. Both are beautiful actresses. LisaRaye McCoy still is fine at her age, but you can see the level, and this is what I'm saying. I think when you see Halle Berry in movies, like it really gravitates you. Even her small scenes in Boomerang, that's an actress. You can see that. When you see LisaRaye McCoy, it feels like it's just more of the beauty, and there's nothing more than that. And I don't believe she had that much roles after this. It's funny, Monaco played Ebony. I wonder if that's just her playing herself. Who knows? But she really did the best of just having that family member that you just need to keep at arm's length. You don't need that energy around you, because as you saw in this movie, with her being around, she caused way more problems. For someone who was already going through shit, she's someone who put more fuel on the fire. So that's like probably a takeaway of this. Know the people who you keep in your circle and the people to surround yourself with. But other than that, this is not a movie I can definitely say I can go back and watch again. Like if it comes on, I'll definitely watch it to see all this all-star cast at their best. But it's not, there's no real like what's the word, quan. Cuba Gooding Jr. said that, like the quan, something that enriches this movie. It's once it's the movie done, it's like I just completely forget about it and just on to the next film. But yeah, I'd say the soundtrack is definitely the highlight, and of course the scenes with Bernie Mac, which I wish there was more in it. That was possibly the best highlight, and Jamie Foxx does pretty well in it. Folks, that is my review of 1998's Players Club, starring LisaRaye McCoy, Jamie Foxx, and Bernie Mac, directed by Ice Cube. Let me know what y'all think about it. Do you agree what I said about LisaRaye McCoy for her first acting role? What did you think of Ice Cube being the director for this movie? And yeah, what did you think again of seeing another ensemble all-star black cast? Put it down in the comments section. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Happy Black History Month. And yes, as I said, I'm just checking my time now. It is 11:25 and it is the 22nd of February. What are you waiting for, folks? If you haven't done it already, get your paper right and update you know the rest.